But hello, everyone, and welcome one and all to the Geek Battle Show here on the Extreme Improv Extreme YouTube channel, as well as the Geek Battle Gaming YouTube channels, and a bunch of other places. Now, first things first, before anything else, let's head to the credits.
Welcome to the Geek Battle Zone. We discuss comics and puny minds are blown. We debate Marvel versus DC, Skeletor, X-Men, and Ron Weasley. Judge David slams down the gavel and Cap dreams of Henry Cavill. It's a Geek Battle stream, nerd rage as we assemble our Geek Avengers team. Welcome to the Geek Battle party. We are the Justice League and our Batman is Marty. Say Hitler's a Tim as movies are greenlit. Every new movie, Deb's already seen it. Xbox, Star Wars, and Star Riders. Email Star Trek, and David loves spiders. We battle as Marvel, and Disney loves Blink. And we try to crown the Geek of the Week. It's the Geek Battle Show. Welcome to the Geek Battleground, where we use the Force and the One Ring is found. Cap is wrong about Resident Evil 6, and everyone watch out, cause oh shit is sick. Gerald and Tim and Diz will try to win at the Geek Battle Quiz. David and Dave will confuse their crew as they dive in the TARDIS of Doctor Who. Watch out now, we're full of hot takes. Doc Courtney is garbage, but Red Dwarf is great. You love Sega, I love Nintendo, but in the Geek Battle, we are all friendos. Oh, it's a Geek Battle show. Oh, the Geek Battle show. It's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Geek Battle show.
Boom, and we're on the air. So hello everyone, and welcome to Geek Battle. Today we're going to be discussing all kinds of things. The biggest thing on my mind, of course, Doctor Who. Now, beyond Doctor Who, guys, the Nintendo Switch 2 is out tomorrow. We're a few days away from 28 years later hitting the cinemas. It is a great time to be a geek. But as always, we need to meet tonight's panel. I don't even have an intro for myself, but who we do have an intro for.
Every time.
It's that overexposed picture of me on the last slide that makes me want to, nerd rage.
Don't invoke it.
Nerd rage!
Well, I have a question about the geek fact of the week for mine,
You
actually.
have a question about the geek fact?
Yes. Do
Go
you
on,
consider me a geek?
Would I what?
Would the rest of the panel consider me a geek?
Yes. Well, I
Is
would.
that a trick question?
So, therefore, if I have a fact about myself, wouldn't that be a geek fact?
What's your fact? If this is about venereal disease again, Nick, I swear.
David, I told you that in confidence.
My bad.
My geek fact of the week concerns Magic the Gathering.
Okay.
I have been playing Magic the Gathering actively more than half my life. I realized that like 3 years ago.
So you've been playing Magic the Gathering more than half your life?
Yep.
Well, I've been playing Half-Life less than 1/3 of. I don't know where I'm going with that. Right. Okay. Well, there you go. I'll be honest. I think Capelthave can say he's been watching Looney Tunes like his entire life.
I mean, I can also claim that.
And Dave can say that he's been building a Dalek at least 3 of his lifespans. So
This is my 4th regeneration.
Your 4th regeneration. Okay, now speaking of regenerations, what can I say except?
Yay! You should add monkeys to that mix because I saw one this morning.
Yeah, okay, so how do you do your updated intro now?
The land of leopards, elephants, and curious joints. Anyway, I kind of forgot my geek back into all the excitement of the intro. Damn it. I think I was going to speak about vampires, but not sure, so I'm just going to go with the random Witcher one. So, in the Witcher universe, vampires are probably, considering all the other things, I mean, Castlevania Dracula is also kind of really powerful, but he did die of getting staked. But in the Witcher universe, vampires, basically the higher vampires, can't really die unless another higher vampire kills them. So there is no way to kill them except for another half of a vampire to kill them. And it's outlawed by their vampire society to kill another higher vampire. And if they do commit that act, other vampires will gang up on the vampire that killed the one higher vampire and kill them. So a vampire really wouldn't really kill another higher vampire. So there's nothing can actually kill them. And that's why Witchers don't even take contracts of higher vampires, because they can't kill them.
Okay, yeah. Well, there you go. That's definitely worth a bonus point in my books. So, The Witcher has vampires, right?
Yes.
That's what I took from that. Okay, now, coming up next, last but possibly not last, because who knows when Dev will ever emerge.
I told them all, I am the master.
I'm going to be honest. This is a spoiler because I'll probably just find that, by next week's show, I've completely forgotten this. I really wish I'd taken the time to just change it so that you regenerated from shooting at well with Billy Piper's voiceover.
Oh, God. Oh. I've already got a Dave face imprint on my wall, so I don't need to put any more on there. But hello, everybody. My name is Dave MC here in Paris, France, and currently in the Wild West as I'm playing Red Dead Redemption Online. My geek fact tonight, however, is back to Doctor Who related. It is because of the reveal of Omega in the last episode. So Omega in Doctor Who is actually the creator of time travel for the Time Lords, as he created the Eye of Harmony by pouring off a lot of energy from inside a black hole. So the black hole that he's trapped in is the secret behind the Time Lord's time travel. He can never escape, though, because there is nothing left of his body. His physical body does not exist anymore, and the only thing keeping him alive is his own will.
Well, that's a very good fact. And also very apt, because now, Nick, Cap, I'm sure we'll get onto other things soon enough, but it has to be addressed. Doctor Who, I have not seen something actually generate this much. Oh, hang on, here comes Dev. Right, we'll get onto it once we've done Dev's intro. Say hello to the people, Dev.
Hello,
there
everyone.
You go in the corner. That's Billy P.
Oh,
go on.
Dev, why?
You all owe him $100, apparently.
No, I made my £100. It's fine.
Yes, say hello to the people.
Hello, everyone.
Good.
I'm Dev.
Okay.
And my geek fact of the week is nobody believed that they would reuse Rose Tyler, apart from the Sun, and I use that to my advantage.
Yeah. Well,
Wait,
yeah.
hold on,
so
hold on. Rose Tyler is back?
No,
Nick,
Billy
you're about to get
Piper
some
is
major
back.
spoilers, and we're not going to avoid it because it's too. If you haven't seen this, I don't know where you've been living, but Shooty Gatwa regenerated into Billy Piper.
See the visible confusion on his face right now.
I
It fits
literally
Billy
shit
Piper's
you
in the
not.
Doctor.
I mean, it literally does fit my fan theory when we spoke about it, and I said, basically, the universe is everyone's a doctor. They've just been time traveling so much.
Well, because the thing as well is they haven't said anything about it. That it's all happened, but the BBC have been quiet about it, and even the Russell has been quiet about it, and no one said anything in relation to this happening.
I think it could be like this, Dave. Okay, views are down. We need a really shocking moment. Okay, Billy Piper's the doctor. Like, yeah, that's great. Everyone's shocked. Now, what do you do with it? I don't know. You just told me to shock people. And I did.
Right,
No,
I'm going to risk the copyright. I'm
Hold
going to
on.
risk the copyright issue, guys.
Hold on.
What?
So, Billy Piper, Rose Tyler was my favorite companion.
Good for you.
Fuck
Right, now,
off.
just check this out. Look, we'll just go to it. I hope this isn't
Look,
some weird edit.
You fuck off. I'm allowed to have my opinion. Wrong as
Okay.
it may be, but you need to go straight to bollocks.
Look. So here we see Shooty steps outside, kind of the TARDIS, and he turns into a star for some reason. It's the most powerful regeneration we've ever seen, and this was just extraordinary. Like the whole episode, I finished watching it, and I can't say I didn't enjoy any of it because I definitely did, but I was more baffled by this episode than maybe any episode ever. But
Why
here was
is he regenerating in space?
boom, Billy Piper. I'll explain why in a second. It's because he didn't want to do it inside there. He wanted to not be on his own, just inside. But he turned into Billy Piper, which is just unbelievable. So,
Wouldn't the Doctor die if he's out in space without atmosphere?
no.
The TARDIS has an oxygen shield around it.
Yeah, so
Nah.
so literally you've had River Song jump out of spaceships and stuff, and then get like a tube of oxygen that she can float through and things.
Remember,
So-
the TARDIS is the Deus Ex Machina that keeps Doctor Who sane.
Bah.
Yeah. Now, yeah. So here's the thing with regeneration is that it was rumored ever since like Matt Smith became the Doctor that Billy Piper is going to be the next Doctor, and they finally listened to people. Like, I don't know who actually wanted this, apparently, apart from Christopher Eccleston, who said that she should be the Doctor at some point.
Me, I wanted that.
Shooty Gatwa has bowed out. There's rumors and speculation about why, but the biggest one that seems likely is that Disney have funded this season of Doctor Who, or these last two seasons of Doctor Who, and it hasn't done very well at all. Hasn't been received critically well. Less people than ever watch it, and so they're not going to fund the third one. And it's either the thing that people are saying, or that has been indicated, is that Shooty Gatwa's getting all these Hollywood offers. And he's like, I can't wait around if just hoping that you get it some production set up. So I need to go do other stuff. Or partly one of the things that I haven't seen too many people speculate on is that if BBC say, well, look, we're going to continue it. We'll make a Christmas special. Next year we'll do it. But we're not paying you Disney money. He might be like, I ain't taking a pay cut to do this. In your third year, you get a pay rise. But whatever the situation is, Shooty has left. From his career perspective, I still think this is a big mistake because was it 18 or 19 episodes as the Doctor?
Yep.
Which is so few that he'll be forever tied to this character, and they weren't good stories for the most part. And he had 2 or 3 Doctor-like episodes in there, and Doctor Who, the role of the Doctor, is something that will follow you forever. And so you kind of want to get your stamp on it. And he should have stuck it out, in my opinion.
It's like a threat.
Dev.
from what from what I hear, because of the fact they filmed seasons 1 and 2 together,
Yeah.
he was unable to take any other jobs apart from sex education, and he was really limited in like what he could do. And
Yeah.
because Disney didn't renew like season 3 until really late, he was kind of like stuck in limbo.
It hasn't been renewed as far as I know.
No.
Is it not?
No,
they haven't
been no news
confirmed
of a
it.
renewal.
So they, for some reason, this is now the crazy thing.
In their feed.
Disney paid for 26 episodes, and that includes 5 episodes of this spin-off, The War Between the Land and Sea, which I don't know what that will be like, but I'm not even sure how far away that is from coming. But
Is
they
that
could have.
Atlantis versus Amazon Justice League style?
No,
It's like some Sea
company?
Devil story.
It's the Sea
But-
Devils.
Yeah, so
Jeez.
they've already filmed that, but they had said over the last few months that they were going to wait until season 2 has aired before they decide if they're going to go ahead with season 3, which just in terms of in television times, it means that at best they could probably film a Christmas special for this year in what time remains, but time is catching on. But there wouldn't be a new season that they could actually put into production until probably next year, once, or very late this year, once they've got some episodes written. So whatever the reason was, Shooty has left, and the big speculation is that the Billy Piper is regeneration is a stunt to try to make people talk about it, saying, "Oh, you can't cancel this. We need to see what happens," or "Oh, Rose is back. We need to see what happens." Because, and here's the biggest thing with it. At the end, it said starring Ncuti Gatwa as the Doctor. Jodie Whittaker was back as the Doctor and introducing Billy Piper, and it didn't say as the Doctor.
No.
I was about to ask, have they ever made a companion of the Doctor?
No.
No.
There's
The
been
interesting
been a
thing-
Time Lord companion, but there's never been a companion who is the Doctor.
Well, like, you could to some degree say the Doctor Donna because they kind of merged as a entity. But it's never just been that the Doctor is regenerated into an actor that played the Doctor before. Now, there is precedent because the 12th Doctor, Peter Capaldi, was the same actor in the Pompeii episode, and they wrote it into the storyline of, oh, why this face? Previously, was it Colin Baker had been in an episode?
Yeah, Colin Baker. Ironically, Colin Baker was in an episode, Arc of
With the
Infinity, which had
Yeah.
Omega in it.
Ah, okay. Right. And
Question why? Question why is the Doctor reincarnating like some Hindu avatar? Any explanation for that?
what, for why he regenerates?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I can answer this one straight away. The reason for it is the first Doctor, William Hartnell, was of poor health, and the show was a hit. And so what they did is that they would just say, "Oh, I'm wearing a bit thin," meaning that he was very old. And then some magic light happened, which was just the special effect they could do during black and white time era. And when they just brought it back, the shot was of the next actor, and it's just like, oh, I got so old that my body has just repaired itself, and now it was a new actor. The second Doctor, when he was leaving, the Time Lord said to him, "It is time for you to change your appearance." It wasn't until Tom Baker, I think, became the Doctor that they even spoke the term of regeneration.
Yeah.
You know, it's just something that evolved out of the necessity of changing the actor. Now, the thing which I think is most interesting.
What's the law reason?
Time
law-
Lords regenerate. Don't ever watch The Timeless Child. Time Lords regenerate. That,
So,
they-
yeah,
when their
so-
body,
so-
when their bodies
but
when
no,
their bodies get to a certain whether they've taken too much damage, whether they just it's old age, they renew their bodies into a new, fresher one. But they can only They can only do it 12 times.
13
Yeah, but
regenerations in total.
No, my question is, then that means if you're regenerating, you're regrowing your old cells, so you don't change your appearance.
No, yeah,
Then
all his cells regenerate.
Hang on,
Yeah,
hang on,
into
Cap.
someone
hang
else.
on, Cap. Hang on, Cap. Hang on, Cap.
into someone else.
Right? So,
It sounds
right.
like it's the logic in a sci-fi show.
Technically,
that's
right.
been running for 50 years.
Look, if you have a kid,
Hold
it doesn't come
hold
out
on.
as an exact clone as you.
Let me
No,
ask you.
that's because the 50% of the DNA comes from the mother. Here
Yeah,
it's the
but
same.
also, it can just be like it's a throwback. That's why you can suddenly have like a ginger child or something.
No, the problem is again, regeneration means the cell copying in itself. You can't do a different mutation. If you're doing a different mutation, that's something else. Wolverine is always Wolverine because he heals.
Yeah, that's different. He heals. The Doctor's entire body, from a genetic level, changes.
Okay, changes means that's different.
All
That's not
changes, and they call it regeneration or renewal because it's a changing of the body.
They can just call it reincarnation.
It's not reincarnation because he doesn't die and come back from the dead.
Hang on,
He's
guys.
almost about to die.
Cap.
Yeah.
I can solve this with a banner, which I don't believe I'd never had the idea of before. But right, okay, there we go.
Semantics.
The term is regeneration, so that means it has to be something that already existed in this time travel show. What
Get
are
your
you talking
term
about? It's just
watching
the word they use.
I'm watching too much of 2001 Space Odyssey. What can I say?
Okay,
That
so
movie made me pretentious.
So hang on, but Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, they're both Spider-Man. It makes sense, right? It's like,
They're
no,
from different universes.
they started the show 60 years ago. They can't always just have someone that is the exact clone of William Hartnell.
No, my
Exactly.
problem is with the terminology. They could change the
Right.
terminology.
Okay, hang on 1 second. Right.
No one invoke nerd rage on me, because if that happens, and I swear I will do this, I will go to a town and I will commit mass murder for nerd rage.
I already
Don't kill the
invoked
horse.
rage. For the record, I already invoked the rage on Dave.
Well, that was at the beginning, so that's fine.
Right, Clint in the comments says, I can help answer David. So I've sent you the link. I don't know if you can make it or if you just mean in the chat, but you have the link either way. But yeah, so the idea initially was that Patrick Troughton, the second Doctor, was meant to be a younger version of William Hartnell. But you can't get the third actor that's then just meant to be younger again 3 or 4 years later. So it's just that it becomes a different mutation of like this entity. And then they established over 60 years. I actually watched the episode with the 11th Doctor, where, gosh, it's the one where the TARDIS is in Idris. I forget the name of the episode, right? Or what house, whatever it was.
Oh,
Remember
yeah,
Dave?
yeah, I know the one you're
Right.
talking about.
So he says about one particular Time Lord, has this same tattoo in every regeneration, smashing bloke, or a lady a couple of times. So that introduced the idea that a regeneration can make a guy a girl. Then Stephen Moffat, who was the writer at the time, pulled the trigger on that with Missy. And then obviously when Peter Capaldi was leaving, they suddenly said, right, we're going to do this with Jodie. Clint, say hello to the people.
Hey, everybody.
Hello,
Glad to
Clint.
be here.
Help me.
Yeah, look, it's semantics, and it's just space magic.
Yes.
Any question you have about Doctor Who can simply just be answered with the term, it's space magic.
Oh, I thought you were going to say wibbly wobbly.
No,
Wibbly wobbly,
Yeah.
timey wimey.
Wibbly wobbly.
no, I am fine. No, I am fine with that. It's just the terminology is what I got stuck on. They call it regeneration, even though he changes into something else. So it can't be regeneration because he's not copying himself.
Yeah, I get it, but the people who don't care about it are all Doctor Who fans. Like, yeah, sure, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Regeneration makes sense.
Yeah, the people
But
who
I-
don't care
The
about
problem
it.
is the problem
Everyone
is
but you.
the problem is, Clint. I saw 2001: Space Odyssey. It made me pretentious. Okay.
Yeah, that's your first problem right there.
Yeah. It made me
Look, hold on. A bit of my family history. My father was a cinematography major in college, so like some kids have required reading in school. I had movies that I was required to watch and do essays of and papers of. When I was 12 years old, my dad made me watch 2001: A Space Odyssey and write a 5-page paper on it.
Interesting. That's.
Good. Now coming back to Doctor Who. Right. So
I
I
did want to.
not to bash anyone, but don't bash 2001. It's a great movie.
never
I'll bash
seen
it.
it.
I
I've
mean,
never seen it.
2001, a
on,
boring Odyssey.
Clint, did you
sorry,
wanna-
sorry.
No, it's super boring.
I agree with you, Clint. The pacing of that film. Oh my
Oh
god.
no, the pacing of that
It's-
movie is shite. I'm not gonna
Yeah, it's.
claim otherwise.
I like the sequel far better than the first one.
Well, you're wrong for many reasons, but I'm not gonna get into that right now.
I did want to run something by Dave and David and anybody else
Sure.
who's talking about Doctor Who, because I know Dave, you're not a fan of the Timeless Child arc. I am not either. But I wanted to throw one like possible retcon that they could do that might fix it, and I wanted to run it by the two of you and see if you agree with me.
Yes.
Shoot.
Keep the Timeless Child. Sure. Some weird kid that's found at the edge of a portal by Tecteun, and she unlocks the secrets of their regeneration capabilities and gifts that to the Time Lords. But instead, let's not make that the Doctor. Let's make that the Master. That way, the Master would have a whole lot more, like depth and weight to them, and that they can have so much more angst and anger towards the Time Lords. Like, you took me, you just dissected me, and you used me for your creation. Where the Doctor remains just a silly old run-of-the-mill Time Lord that just is a renegade, just does whatever they want. It keeps the
What a
Doctor
tweet!
simple, and it complicates the Master.
Yeah,
What a
'cause
twist.
you could almost have that part as well, like that when like every other Time Lord who stared into the Eye of Harmony had different ways, but the Master ran away because it did drive him insane. So maybe it messed with his biology a bit more.
I think, like, I don't think it should be the Doctor or the Master. If they, like, one of the things is with retconning it out, unless you were just going to have some storyline where it's like, well, then they could do it where it's like, the lie of all lies, and put some great thing about there is a lie out there, and this turns out to be the lie. But everyone in the internet would just be like, retcon, right? You could even call it the retcon. You could literally put that into Doctor Who. But I think the problem with it being either the Doctor or the Master is it so dramatically alters the history of those characters. I think wasn't it that the Master was jealous that, I can't believe it was you, Doctor, already. If you make it so, this was the Master. I just I think the bigger problem. Sorry if I could just quickly say, because then you can bounce off of this as well. I don't remember this ever coming in there before. What was this in this finale where they were just like, the Time Lords can't ever have children?
Oh, I don't know where the fuck that came from.
Why would they put that in there? They've literally
It's
said
the radiation that the TARDIS puts out.
But the 10th Doctor said, I was a father once. He has his granddaughter who they teased, and then clearly there was a ton of reshoots. This finale episode, it wasn't all bad. There was some of it that was fun, but in terms of the overall storyline, it was the biggest mess I've seen. In terms of they left things hanging. From last week, Rogue appeared on a screen, never to return. Susan, find me, never to return. Suddenly the Time Lords are sterile. The Rani came back just to bring back Omega and then get eaten immediately. It's like everything was so messy in this. But why would they say that the Time Lords are forever sterile? I didn't even understand where the Time Lords
I have
come
to go, unfortunately. Bye, guys.
I mean, if they said it was the Daleks did something to it during the war, then maybe.
It's
maybe
it's the TARDIS radiation. There's too much space radiation. It cooked his balls.
Right, yeah.
But I think if they explained it's like, during the Time War the Daleks used this bio weapon on us. That's what they did. So we can't have kids anymore. Fine. It wouldn't be good, but I'll accept it. But just saying, we're sterile. Now, let's get back to Omega.
Yeah,
it's like the Witchers.
it didn't make sense to me. Why to include that? Because it just means that the idea of the mystery of who Susan is, the granddaughter, feels
Adopted?
Adopted granddaughter.
Yeah. I mean, if you're
Wouldn't that
too
be an
old,
adopted daughter?
I mean, if you-
adopted daughter and or son who then got a wife and then
Yeah.
adopted another
maybe,
daughter.
Yeah.
maybe,
yeah.
maybe.
My head is too confused for this crap.
I mean, to be honest, I think because he's the last of the Time Lords, right? Or there's like other people out there.
Theoretically. But
Yeah,
they keep changing that goddamn line. Like, I'm the last of the Time Lords. Oh, but here's the Master. I'm the last of the Time Lords again. Oh, by the way, I'm going to bring every Time Lord back now. Oh, but I'm still the last of the Time Lords. No,
Did you fall off your horse?
I may have done. Oh, Jesus, fuck.
I think.
Oh.
Okay, here's a slight theory. I think Russell T Davies really wanted to make a Superman show because the last son of Krypton. Okay, the last son of Krypton, and also if you remember Man of Steel, it was like Kal-El is the first natural birth in Kryptonian in 20 generations or whatever, and so it was just like the Time Lord should be sterile as well. It's like why?
No, that's a cool feature with most sci-fi and also most fantasy kind of trope. The Witchers are sterile. The Space Marines are sterile. Like anything special, they go for.
Right,
or they can't.
but here's the thing, Kat. Here's the thing with the Witchers. You have all these books and all these established laws. With the Time Lords, you don't get much law with them. So when you get something like when you get the Doctor's a renegade, they don't interfere in time. That whole thing, but then suddenly you get by the way, they're sterile
Jesus,
now.
we're dropping like flies. What's going on?
It's just an out of nowhere comment to make, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
can I just say on the? Sorry,
Yeah,
I was going to say, can I say on the Doctor Who point with Omega? What the fuck were they thinking that was a good design? Did they just think that Sutek looked really cool in the last series? Let's make Omega look somewhat the same. Let's make him look like a mummified baby or something. Like it doesn't look good. Did you not see? I mean, yes, in the 70s, it was a cheap looking costume, you know, and you could tell the mask was made with like foam or something. But at the same point, it looked a lot better than the CG abomination that we got.
No, so look, here's the thing, right? So this is what Omega used to look like. Here's Dev.
Yeah, there's Omega. That is Omega.
Ooh,
And then I don't even know if it's the Shooty Gatwa Omega. No, it's just
There it is. There it is.
Is it?
I just saw it.
Oh yeah,
yeah, there it is.
There's a CGI skeleton with a giant head and
Spooky.
But it's like, I understand that Omega lives in a dimension where his body doesn't exist. But that's what you came up with.
Don't they look like the Reaper, the giant Reaper from Mass Effect?
It does. It literally does. It looks like a Dementor without its sheet on.
Well, do you know the thing about this to me is that Doctor Who, even if they've got Disney money, Sutek and Omega here, they're so limited in what they can do. They don't have. Look, She-Hulk was like they didn't have the budget to do the lead character of a show, of a TV show, as just CGI. And Doctor Who, having your main villain as a character that you can't really afford to realize and have move about, and they say they just have to be sort of stuck in one place. It just so limits the story. And then I'll come to you in 1 second, Dev. So Omega appearing, the Rani's plan just now looked ridiculous.
Yep.
Because she was like, I want to bring back Omega. And he was like, nope, like that, and ate her. Then Angie Watts is like, oh, well, so much for the two Ranis. It's goodbye from me, and it's good night from him, right? And then the Doctor defeats Omega by basically shooting him.
Yeah, Doctor never uses guns.
Exactly.
Because he is Shooty Gatwa.
Because he is Shooty Gatwa, you're right. It felt like whatever the original episode was, because if they filmed this a year ago, like you said, they did reshoots earlier this year when they knew that Shooty was leaving. And maybe that's why Omega was just like, we just need this character to be in one spot. We can't do anything else. I don't know how extensive the reshoots
I
were.
love the fact that Doctor Who went Warhammer. Like, I am Omega, this totally dimension creature or something. Well, guess what, motherfucker? Bang, bang.
I'm gonna go into snob mode. Actually, it's not pronounced Omega. It's Omega.
Omega.
You don't
Now
pronounce
listen.
it.
Now listen, right? We don't all have French accents to pronounce it like you. So okay, we'll pronounce it however we can. And my favourite Doctor left, Nakuti Gatwa. Nakuti Gatwa defeated Omega. Right? Oh my god! Oh my god!
Oh my god, he shot me!
Oh.
Right, but anyway, yeah, no, okay, fair enough. Now, Dev, you wanted to say?
I think with what they did with Kenny is basically they did the Mortal Kombat approach of he's been around like demons and aliens for so long. They transformed him into this form where he's like demonic and shit.
He hasn't though. He's been in a black hole where nothing existed there except him.
What about the devil?
They gave some explanation about what happened to him, but
Wasn't he like sent into hell? Because they were saying like he sent into the underworld.
He sent to hell. Why would he go there?
They literally said this whole exposition thing in the episode where like they sent him to this netherworld where in many languages it's called hell, the underworld, the afterlife, whatever.
Yeah, they literally said Narnia and the Upside Down. They were putting in all these other.
Yeah, they literally said Upside Down from Stranger Things.
Yeah, Stranger Things. Yeah.
I'm just like, he was in a black hole. He was no threat, and he couldn't get out because he technically doesn't exist.
But okay, but the point was when he did come back, it was for less than 2 minutes of screen time, and the threat of the Rani, the original Rani, left immediately. The new Rani, like imagine being the Doctor, and you only get to be the Doctor for like 2 days. That was the new Rani's time in this regeneration.
See, I think I understand what they did there. It's effing stupid, but it's like I understood what they did there. They needed the Rani to bisect so that the new younger one could show up as a red herring villain, summon the big demon, get sacrificed because of it, but allow the other Rani to regenerate in the future to another.
Will she just become her again?
Most bloody likely.
Okay, so if David Tennant with Donna suddenly regenerates, does Shooty come back? That's a really interesting thought.
At this point, I'm just like, I really couldn't give a rat's arse. Because, Shooty had a hard job anyway, coming off the shadow of David, who is still around.
Yeah.
And I want to give him credit. He at times I found him really charismatic. It was really fun at times. But for him to then say at the end of his regeneration, wow, this has been an absolute joy, I went, you fucking liar. You've been crying the whole time.
He didn't cry in that episode, actually.
Did he not? I thought he did.
Did he cry? I don't remember that he cried.
When he realized his daughter was alive or something.
Ronnie,
well, maybe he did. I'll tell you what. Something that was really good in that episode is when they took off Poppy's coat or whatever, and then him and Belinda were just handing it as they were talking. They were folding it, and it was getting smaller until it vanished. It was a really clever way of showing that she faded from existence. That was a really clever cinematography kind of method of just showing. And then that Ruby was like, oh, there's someone Ruby honestly saved the day more than anyone in this storyline, because she could still remember that the Doctor was the Doctor in the previous episode, and then she was the one that remembered Poppy still existing. But then suddenly Poppy wasn't the Doctor's daughter, which again, it just felt like, why set this up last week just to backpedal it?
I had a perfect resolution for that. When they go on this whole mission to find Poppy?
Yeah.
What they end up doing is they go into the future and find a future version of Poppy looking after her daughter, Susan.
Maybe, but now they've said that Poppy isn't his daughter, which just
They don't. It's almost like they don't know what they're doing, so they're just making it up as they go along, and then hoping no one will ask questions about it.
Well, so look, if you look at River Song and the Doctor know each other in the wrong order, and when that first happened, the reason I mention it is that would have been really weird if what I was about to say hadn't been established. But they could have put in it that that Susan traveling with grandfather William Hartnell knew that she was from his distant future, but the Doctor had just said, we mustn't ever discuss it. You're here now, but I mustn't know anything about my future. Then it could have turned out that Poppy is the mother of Susan, and at some point Susan then ends up traveling with the first Doctor, and that would have been like, oh wow, so something from his future. But then at a certain point, when he meets River in the wrong order, he'd be like, oh yeah, I used to travel with my granddaughter who I haven't met the mother of yet. And, you know, stuff would have come up.
Not a possibility, because she was on Gallifrey. She is a Time Lord, and
but that wouldn't mean
she fought in the Time War as well.
Yeah, I know, but that doesn't exclude that, because if she just came from the future, they're Time Lords, right? So she could have still been on Gallifrey, but just he hadn't met her yet. But anyway, that's just throwing out an idea. The idea that so we can go on to other stuff in a second. The last idea I'd like to raise on this thing, because it was so many things in one episode. It was so much to take in. Was what's the thoughts on the 15th Doctor suddenly saying, oh yeah, there is someone, Poppy, who I can't remember at all, but I'm going to cost all my regeneration to bring back this one person, maybe.
He tried to do was it Matt Smith or Peter Capaldi thing of everyone is important. Which one was the one that said that?
I think it might be Capaldi. Capaldi might have said that.
I've not met anyone in the world
saying that.
I've met anyone in the world who isn't important.
Yeah.
And he took that seriously.
Like that's Matt then.
But the point is, so if you look at David Tennant, when Bernard Cribbins, Wilf, is in that thing, and it's like it's about to be blasted with radiation, and then Wilf says, "Oh well, just leave me, Doctor. I'm not important. Just leave me." And David Tennant says, "No, you're not important at all." And David Tennant then says, "It's my honor," and he goes in, gets so that Bernard Cribbins can escape. He gets hit with all of the thing, which then causes him to regenerate. So David Tennant sacrificed himself for Wilf. So it wasn't like when he was being shot by a Cyberman or shot by a Dalek or the Master doing something to him. David Tennant voluntarily, the 10th Doctor voluntarily chose to do something that would sacrifice himself. You could say that what Ncuti did was the same, but the difference was the 15th Doctor had time. He could have harnessed all of the energy or whatever that's in a black hole instead of using his own regeneration energy. It was such a rewrite, a last minute rewrite, and they were like, we need a reason for why he's going to regenerate, and it's not going to make sense. Oh, we'll bring in Jodie Whittaker just so that there's a double Doctor scene, and hopefully people won't pay attention to the fact that we're saying that he's literally using up one of his lives when he could have found any other source of energy and had all of the time in the universe to do it. Go on, Deb.
The funniest part about that is Kate literally listed off everything they could do instead of him dying before he killed himself.
Who did?
The Brigadier's granddaughter.
Oh yeah. So what could? Oh yeah, she did. She listed off every single idea. What she had got. He could have gone to anywhere in the entire universe.
Yep.
And got something else. It didn't need to be. He didn't need to sacrifice himself when there's a million other things that he could have found to go? Like, are they saying that one Time Lord regenerating is that there is nothing that can equal that energy anywhere?
Apparently.
It was a needless sacrifice, which just meant that the 15th Doctor died for no reason.
Omega should have eaten him.
Well,
yeah. I mean, if it made him look better than he did, then I would say yes. Eat him, please. Eat him. I want him to die.
Also,
go on.
Before we move on from Doctor Who, I'd like to draw attention to the fact that StreamYard crashing led to Billy Piper regenerating on my screen.
Okay, there you go. You got a different Billy Piper. Okay, so Billy Piper. Just quickly on that front, I think. Look, they could say that it's Bad Wolf. They could say it's the moment. They can't realistically say that it is actually Rose Tyler. But Billy Piper being the Doctor, which they haven't named, I think it's going to be that, like you had the Watcher, like you had with Tom Baker going into the Fifth Doctor, like you had the Valeyard. I think this is going to be some sort of in-between being, so then they can decide if they want it to be someone else later.
BBC, my contracts are pretty much open, so if you want to get in touch with me, say Dave would make a better Doctor at gmail.com.
Yes, David would make. Right. Okay. You're too young to play him, Dave. Like, you're too young. So I'll happily take that responsibility.
All right, I'll be the master then. Well, I'll go. You go as the Doctor. I'll go as the master. We got a set there.
That's exactly why. You gave up far too easily there. Like,
no. Anyone would be good. Put me as Rastalon or the Valeyard. I don't care.
Yeah, no, I'd love to be in Doctor Who. Go on, Dev.
In wrestling terms, Billy Piper is basically the Royal Rumble title shot Doctor, where it's like a one shot that will never happen, and like he's a transitional Christmas Doctor.
Yeah,
is what I think she'll be.
Christmas Doctor.
I hope that they are planning. I hope they've got a plan for a Christmas special this year with Billy Piper. I think she'll play the role well. It depends what the story they do is, obviously. I think she'll really put her heart and soul into it. But unless they're planning something for who is next, or unless they're the Doctor shouldn't regenerate every 2 or 3 years.
No.
Like, again, because even though they've broke this rule with here's a crack in time and here's a new set of regenerations. Like, if the Doctor, we're on the 16th now, so there's 10 left. So, is that regeneration cycle going to run out as well? And then what? They're chewing through these really fast.
Well, because of the whole timeless child thing, now the Doctor can regenerate for God knows how long.
True. Yeah.
So Doctor Who meant to have an end.
Yes.
I wish it did.
I think, okay, so here's coming back to what we said about William Hartnell earlier. Imagine if William Hartnell didn't get poorly and just kept making Doctor Who for another 2-3 years. Eventually, the quality may have faded and they'd have just ended the show. But because of that happening, they recast it and they suddenly fell upon by luck. We can keep refreshing this show. But go on, Cap.
Because we were talking about the end, the only thing that came to mind, you know that black holes, technically the end of everything in the universe, die themselves.
What are you suggesting? That the Doctor just throw himself into a black hole?
No, I'm saying that black holes themselves die. Again, it takes a long time, but at a given time, black holes slowly lose their energy, and they die themselves.
Energy can't be destroyed, just transferred.
Yeah, that's why it's getting transferred into something else. Although it takes a heck of a long time. This is what Stephen Hawking actually discovered. With Hawking radiation theory.
I just actually saw something that suggested that whilst the universe is happening, there's another anti-universe where everything's running backwards. And I guess they'll meet in the middle and then, I don't know. Kaboom.
No.
Right. I have lots of theories about black holes, but we won't go there today. Dev.
Did Dave explain what the spoon thing was about, by the way? Because I remember there being a spoon for some reason, where he goes to the edge of the universe and gets a spoon, and uses that to save the world or something.
What? In Doctor Who?
Yes, like after where there was a witch world, right? The where he was in the world where he was married to his companion and the daughter. So not the
Right.
last episode, but the one at the end of that, everybody was like, oh wait, no, I'm mixing it up. I meant the.
You're thinking of The Room, aren't you, with Tommy Wiseau?
No.
They've got spoons in
I'm
that.
thinking of season 1. I'm mixing it up.
Oh, I can't honestly
yeah.
remember the spoon thing. Right, so guys, what else have we seen? What else is on people's minds? Cat.
I've actually saw the new movie Sinners. Well, it's not new anymore. It's available on streaming now. Or DVD, possibly DVD. I don't know. I saw it, okay? And it's great. It's actually one of the most entertaining films that I've seen in a while. And it's not a Marvel movie. It's not a DC movie. It's an actual classic action setting. But it's actually a lot deeper, how action movies were kind of going to that route in the 90s and the early 2000s, where it's really deep and it's entertaining because it didn't sacrifice being entertaining just to be deep. They did a really good job and actually did a good twist with vampires. I really liked. This was the first time anything new has been done with vampires that is not Twilight and that doesn't suck. This movie is just oozing with charisma and great. I highly recommend Sinners. Honestly, a fucking good movie after a long while.
Yeah. Okay, Sinners. I don't know it at all. What? So Sinners. I'd ask you what it's streaming on, but the fact that you don't know if it's on DVD or not. Okay, so Michael B. Jordan, Sinners.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michael Haley Steinfeld and what is the vampire guy? I've seen him in some sort of BBC show as well. I don't know who that is, but he's been
The vampire guy.
Yeah. Actually, he stole the whole movie. He's the bad guy, but he stole the whole movie.
No, I don't know who you mean.
John Cole. You know what? Let me just read his name again. Sinners.
So we've established this guy's name is John.
John.
Yes, the oldest vampire known to humankind who has killed millions upon his lifetime. His name is John.
John. And it makes sense, right? Because it's John. Everyone's John. He's not the oldest vampire. He's probably because of his cultural and also he's aware of his lore and stuff, he's probably from when the Brits took over Ireland.
What on earth is this, Dev?
Okay, so I'd like to talk about this. Basically, in TV channels have now gone so stale that they're repeating one show. That's it. And both Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network have done that.
It just says Teen Titans Go thousands of times over.
Yes, that is the entire schedule for the Cartoon Network for like a specific week, about 3 years ago.
Well, there you go, Cap. You got your viewing set.
That's why Cartoon Network failed.
Yeah. Okay, so coming back to about the vampire, did we work out who that was?
Yeah, it's John.
Yeah, it's Jack O'Connell. That's not his name. That's his actor name. Is a British. Jack O'Connell is the actor. The character he plays is Remick.
I don't know that.
Nah, John's better.
Yeah.
Every time I see that, if I see that film, I'm going to go, oh, look, there's John!
John. It's the first John before it became an epidemic.
It's I am Dracula. I am Alucard. I'm John.
John.
So it's from the same guy that directed Black Panther and Creed. So yeah, it's probably going to be a good movie.
It's really good. The start of it, actually, the first 10 minutes is a bit of a drag. But when technically in the movie itself, when the party starts, it starts.
Yeah.
I don't do horror movies, but any party involving vampires will always be outdone by the Blade disco.
Okay. this is more. So I would say this premise is more like a Dusk Till Dawn premise more than the Blade Club vampire. I don't want to say more. I don't want to spoil this film. It's actually a really good film. That's why I don't want to spoil it. But it's not like Blade. I'll say you that. It's actually a very interesting twist on vampire that I think they haven't done before.
Yeah. Deb.
Deb.
I'd like to discuss Karate Kid Legends.
Go for it. I haven't seen it yet, but to be honest, I don't think there's going to be big spoilers.
It's
Miyagi, go.
God damn it, Dave! That was the best joke in the movie. Okay, so okay, this movie, if it wasn't a Karate Kid movie, and even if it was, and it didn't have Jackie Chan or Ralph Macchio, and had a brand new Miyagi.
Yeah.
Did it have Jaden
movie.
Smith? That's all I need to know.
Oh, hang on. It didn't have Jaden Smith, right?
No.
Right. Okay. So, Dev, I missed what you said there. So, even if it didn't have, though, if it had a Miyagi,
If it had its own Miyagi and it didn't have Jackie Chan or Ralph Macchio, it would have been a better movie.
Without, come on.
Yes, they were both shoehorned in. They were literally both shoehorned in.
Yeah,
In fact,
but yeah, I want them there though.
At a push, you can even have the mother be the new Miyagi because the mother was played by Fennec, Melinda May, and Mulan, and Chun Li. The same actress.
Okay.
So she could have easily been the new Miyagi, and the movie would have been fine. Literally, the movie somehow got worse because they got shoehorned in Jackie Chan and thing.
Well, okay. Without having seen it yet, let me just quickly say my defense of that would be: you think they made a Jackie Chan Karate Kid movie, and that had nothing to do with the Karate Kid Cobra Kai universe, and then later on, they were like, "We can bring this together." So, if they'd just done it with someone else, at a certain point, they'd be like, "Oh, this is just a remake." But this was the opportunity, the moment in time, where they could
With
still
Jackie.
make another one without them. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say you don't have a lot of time with Jackie Chan, so any iconic thing you can get him into,
Although
get him into it.
one thing I did
Yeah,
like,
a lot of time. How old is he? He's not that old, right?
it's like 62, 65.
62.
Yeah,
Pretty
but you
old,
gotta.
isn't
No,
Oh, he's
he's-
71. 71.
Yeah, he's older than my mom.
Yeah. Although what I did like is there's one picture of Jackie Chan and Pat Morita, like from the 80s, in the actual movie.
Nice. Oh, it wasn't another CGI.
No.
Cobra
No,
Kai.
no CGI imposed Pat Morita.
No. Although the beginning did confuse me a bit because they talk about Han, but it's a flashback from one of the old movies. I don't know if I don't remember if it actually happened.
Wait, what?
It looks
One of
like
the
a-
old movies? He
It looks like
wasn't in
a yeah. There's a scene at the very beginning where it looks like it's either from movie 1 or 2, and they talk about Han.
But he wasn't. What? Jackie Chan? They got like old Jackie Chan. Oh, I've got it.
No. Pat Morita and Ralph Macchio are young and talking about.
That's
how-
amazing. This sounds like the best
Oh.
film ever. Like,
Like-
if I hadn't had a rotten birthday, I'd have seen this by now. Right.
But Ben
No, I had a
Wang-
great birthday for for my loved ones. That suddenly, I didn't mean like a bad birthday. I was just saying, like, if it wasn't for my birthday,
I mean,
I
it
don't
was
want to
perfect except that David didn't see the movie. It would have been
Yeah.
perfect if he had
What's,
seen the movie.
what's great is Ben Wang has mastered the art of fighting like Jackie Chan, where he's like environmental kung fu rather than like his stuff is like I don't want to fight. Like he doesn't want to fight, but he'll fight using the environment.
yeah, that's
Like
good.
Jackie Chan does.
I think that's what Jackie Chan actually did. What I did was brilliant because, like, again, he actually depicted what a smaller guy. I remember was it Rumble in the Jungle? I think when there's like big people started coming out of the hotel room. That's still my favorite fight scene. It's like he punches them and he can't hurt them, so he starts using the tables and the chairs. I mean, that's brilliant. So far, I think like Jackie Chan. I like Jackie Chan more than Bruce Lee. Kill me, I don't care.
Yeah. So Jackie Chan doesn't show up to an hour into the movie, and Ralph Macchio doesn't show up to the last 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
So
Yes.
what?
Okay.
Oh my god, that is despicable.
So wait, how long Jackie Chan is in it? That's what I actually care
Like half hour, 35 minutes.
Okay,
about.
I need to ask AI about this. Okay, right, you guys keep talking. I'm going to find out some facts.
Okey-dokey.
Does he do his stunts in this? I don't think he did, right? I think he stopped doing
He doesn't because like the fight scene he has, the one is it's in the dark. The one he does by himself is in the dark. So I don't think it's him.
Again, he's 70.
70, yeah.
Yeah, and the amount of punishment he took throughout his whole career.
Yeah. And he's
I'm
not
willing
like
to give the guy a break.
Yeah, and he's not like Ralph Macchio where he doesn't age.
Yeah,
That's what's his name? Paul Rudd. He doesn't age.
Yeah, Keanu Reeves, Paul Rudd, and this Ralph Macchio
Oh,
guy.
Keanu Reeves does age. Look at him shaved, and you'll see how old he is.
That's why when we get older, we should all grow beards, so that we can stay young forever. That is the secret of our immortality.
Or we can just do blood transfusion with Paul Rudd. He can shave, he can do whatever he wants, he still remains young.
Well, just like in Batman Beyond, where you got like Bane in the chat, he's like decrepit. And that's just Paul Rudd, and the rest of us we're all looking young and regal. And it's just Paul Rudd in the Batman Beyond chair. Just oh god, what happened to him?
Okay, so I'll tell you what I've been able to dig up, guys. So, it says Jackie Chan shows up between the 30 and 40-minute mark. It says Ralph Macchio turns up 45 to 50 minutes. It says it lasts 93 minutes. So that's a really long time. I don't get this, right? They did this to us with Ghostbusters too. So it's like, oh yeah, we're doing Ghostbusters, and after you didn't like the one with the girls in, now it's a continuation of the original. And then what they did is Bill Murray showed up in like the final 6 minutes of the movie. And it's like, why are they doing this to me? Just give me that 80s nostalgia so that I can die in peace, please.
Oh, I would also like to add on to this. It says Jackie Chan was shown 35 minutes in. That's when Mulan calls him. So it doesn't show up in New York until an hour and a bit into it. And Ralph Macchio, Jackie Chan goes to where is it in where's Cobra Kai set? Where's Cobra Kai set?
The Valley. I don't know.
Los Angeles,
Valley.
Los Angeles, right?
So
Los Angeles,
Jackie Chan goes to Miyagi's old house and tries to convince Macchio to come to New York, who then shows up 20 minutes before the movie ends.
Ugh.
Also, my question is this story revolving around Jackie Chan's son, right?
No, his nephew.
Okay, that makes sense. Because in the Jackie Chan Karate Kid film, his family is dead. That's why it's like I suddenly got reminded of it. Wait, does he have a son in this? Isn't his family dead?
He has a sister who has a son.
Okay. Now that
his sister's in Mulan.
that also makes perfect sense. Of course.
Wrap your head around that, everybody.
But to be honest, I actually wanted Jaden Smith in this movie.
I just asked. It says
because Jaden Smith has only done one good movie, and that's Karate Kid. That's the only one good movie that he has done. So come on, Jaden, hop on the bandwagon. That's the only good
house. You're super being a house right now. What was that, David?
Yeah.
No, I just asked and on AI just before Cap asked that. And it says he is not explicitly mentioned or referenced in the film. So
at all. No, he isn't.
Oh,
he doesn't exist. He doesn't exist.
It never happened.
Han isn't a janitor. He is a kung fu master in China with his own dojo.
Yeah.
So they retconned it.
Yeah.
So the movie's died? Oh no! I actually like that film.
Do you know what? Go on, Cap.
No, to be honest, you guys are gonna hate me for this, but I couldn't fully watch Karate Kid, the original one, because the pacing was terrible, guys. I can't fully completely watch it.
Oh my god! You just exist on memes.
I was able to watch The Breakfast Club, and I was able to watch the Ferris Bueller. Yeah.
What's the third one? The guy has had so much cocaine. You'll love the movie.
Yep.
Okay, I'll give third one a shot.
Yeah, you can't tell, but I'm silently nerd raging right now because of what you just said.
Yeah.
And it will still blow my mind that the guy who plays Terry Silver, who is an old man now, is younger than Rob Maggio.
Who still looks like a teenager.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so weird.
I would say
No, is that true?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's 2 years younger.
Fucking hell!
Yeah.
I know to finish my earlier point. I was actually able to fully watch Jackie Chan's Karate Kid film, although I wasn't watching it because it's a Karate Kid film. I was watching it because it's a Jackie Chan film, and it was great. I really liked the film.
You should watch the one set in London.
The one with
There's a new one set in London.
the Karate Kid one.
Karate Kid UK.
I wish.
Karate Kid UK, where like 10 minutes in, like I just shank you, and it's like like this, and someone's just like, I murked you with a knife. I got a blade. Right. This karate is not as easy. Right. Okay. Now, anyway, so something I really appreciate here. I've got a story that I found on Madam Web, saying about what went wrong with Madam Web.
Wait, where did that come out of nowhere?
No, there's an interview, but I'm not going to lie. I appreciate what went wrong with the movie here, and she's been quite honest about it. She says there's this thing that happens now where a lot of creative decisions are made by committee or made by people who don't have a creative bone in their body, and it's really hard to make art that way or make something entertaining that way. And I think that's what with Madam Web. It started out as something and turned into something else, and I was just sort of along for the ride at that point. But that happens. Bigger budget movies fail all the time. I don't have a band-aid over it, and there's no part of me that's like, oh, I'll never do that again. I've done even tiny movies that didn't do well. Who cares? I love it. Right? Yeah. Look, she was there for the paycheck. She knew it was probably going to be bad, and she's like, I'm not saying I wouldn't do it again. Good for her.
So that's like David. Everybody knew it was going to be bad.
Yeah, everyone knew it was going to be bad, but I think when you think about like movies like
she actually thought she was going to be an Avenger.
Well, exactly. She just hadn't got a clue, right? And it was similar to Matt Smith contacted Karen Gillan saying, "Should I do Morbius?" She's like, "Yeah, don't do it." And he's like, "They're not the same thing." Right. Dev, you had your hand up.
Someone in the MCU told the girl who played Madam Web that it was a Marvel Studios movie and to go for it.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason she did it.
Do you know what? Like Madam Web, I've seen it twice now, and I enjoyed it more both times. Right. So, like, I think it's going to be a film.
Has it reached room status? Is that why you're watching it 2 times?
How much alcohol do you consume before watching these films?
I don't drink. Like the first time I saw it,
he gets high on these bad movies.
I do a little bit. Like, I think within time it's going to be appreciated in a kind of The Room kind of way. It genuinely was so bad that it was actually quite good for how bad it was.
I mean, to be honest, I miss. This is why I miss I want M. Night Shyamalan to go crazy again. I want the Room guy to direct another movie. I miss bad films. Yeah, he did, right? He did some sort of a strange teeth dentist movie or something like that.
I can't remember, to be honest. Go on, Dev.
One of these Sony movies has reached the Room status, and that is genuinely Morbius.
Morbius. Exactly.
All the memes.
Morbius.
It was so good, like so memorable. They tricked Sony into re-releasing it.
Did anyone here actually watch Craven the Hunter in the end? I've never watched
several times.
Oh, didn't you go to it at the cinema several? Oh my god!
Yeah.
What were you drinking before you thought that was a good idea?
To be fair, I was paid to do it.
You were drinking dinner.
No, I was paid to watch the movie twice.
Wow, that's amazing. Right.
And the
Who
only
paid you?
good
I
part,
need names.
honestly, Sony. But like the only good part of that movie wasn't the Rhino, wasn't Craven. It was the chameleon. and he only shows up in the last 2 seconds.
They need to stop doing what, like as a tease.
Yeah.
Throughout the movie, he's there as the meek voice. He's the guy who's like, he's good at mimicking voices. But at the end of the movie, he goes to the guy who mutated the rhino. I was like, make me a chameleon. And he does.
These studios, what they need to stop doing is thinking, hey, there's this cool thing, we'll save it for the sequel. Right? Put it in your first movie and then work out the sequel once it gets greenlit. You know,
they did that shit with Sydney Sweeney and
yeah, exactly.
Spider-Woman as well.
Yeah, Sydney Sweeney was like dressed up fully as Spider-Woman, and it's like we're just going to show her in a
flash forward,
and then at the last scene, you're going to have Madam Web wearing Bret Hart glasses, just like this, paralyzed in a chair, saying, "You are my children now." For some reason, to Sydney Sweeney and the others, when you see them dressed as Spider-Woman, and it's like this is where the movie should have begun.
It's the Sony version of
Think about this. Sony had the actors from 50 Shades of Grey and Sid Sweeney, and they did nothing with it.
What, 50 Shades of Spidey or something? Is that what you're trying to go for here, Cap?
I don't care. It would have been something. Just read between the lines, Dave.
I agree, Cap. It would have been something. That would have been.
So, in the comics, like Madam Web's support system is like she's bound to like a giant web. You literally put tines on the 50 Shades thing.
Thank you, Dave. I'm picturing it in my head right now.
I'm not drunk enough to be hearing about this.
Okay, so hang on. Right,
where's the bar around here? I need a drink.
The thing about Madam Web, like, okay, so I don't want this to be like an insensitive thing, so I am aware of that. I'm treading into slightly dodgy territory.
You know what?
Sorry,
you're okay.
Dave.
No,
right.
David, you're covered because I'm disabled. It's fine.
Okay, well, look. So, but like, well, okay, so you know, I want to be especially so like her support system, where she was just on this thing frozen at the end. Didn't it really scream of? I don't know if I can find the actual clip here, but do you remember in American Dad when there's Mind Quad, right? Does anyone remember this? Right, where there's a TV show that or something that they just occasionally cut to. Let's have a look here. So I have to bring up the Shield for this. So there's this character, and look, like he's got no arms or legs, but he can. His body imploded, so he can now run about with his mind. And he's like, "Mind Quad, come along, kid!" Right? And he gets this kid. You'll see in a second. He uses his brain power, and that's how Madam Web moves at the end of that movie. Does anyone remember this?
I haven't seen the movie actually.
No.
Oh my god! But no, Mind Quad. But yeah, that Madam Web, she was just like that, and she's like, "So this is who you've based this movie on?" And she's meant to be like Aunt May age, and then it's like, and then you've got the Spider Women. You could have just made a Spider Girl movie.
Literally, all we needed was Harley Quinn and the emancipation of the Birds of Prey movie that Marvel. That's what we needed.
I saw that film once. I couldn't. I think I'd got post-COVID at the time. I don't remember a thing about it. I'm serious.
Or was that film?
Was that any good? Wasn't that originally meant to be the Joker and Harley Quinn? And then they did Joker as a separate movie, and then they did her movie.
It was supposed to be Birds of Prey, and then they stuck in Harley, get more views.
And it didn't.
I need this.
No.
Oh,
Dave,
you're having a virtual beer just to cope with this conversation.
I am drinking beer. You guys are driving me to drink.
I think the worst thing about this is the last person who played Madam Web was Stanley's wife.
Okay.
Was that in the game?
Cartoon?
In the cartoon.
Oh, in the cartoon. Oh, yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
I also have to talk about another movie that I saw, which is an early 2000 gem I stumbled upon, is Route 66.
Is that a biker movie?
It's not a biker movie. It's the guy from Sonic, and he's not with the CGI character this time. And
You mean
it's
Cyclops
really...
or
Yeah,
the other
Cyclops.
one, the talking one?
Or
Yeah,
the prince.
Oh, the
It's-
Prince from Enchanted.
I've
He's
been
not done.
dreaming of Route 66.
That's good.
See what I did there?
I think it also has Gary Oldman. I'm not sure if that guy is Gary Oldman, although it does look like Gary Oldman. It could be different. Him, and also David, you might like this. The Doc Brown from Back to the Future. He's also in this, and it's actually a really good film.
Route 66.
How recent is this film?
2000, 2000-ish.
Okay, Route 66. Christopher Lloyd.
Cap says it's a new movie. It came out in 2006.
Was he even born then? Wait, hold on. No, we had to say 60. What are you? Wrong
Wait,
name,
no,
Cap.
Interstate 60.
I just said okay. I forgot that I messed up the name.
I'm not gonna lie, this movie poster doesn't inspire me to watch it.
Yeah,
a
but
good
it's a really
cast,
good
It's
film.
like the most 2002 movie poster I've ever seen.
Oh.
Yeah, But
It looks like Crossroads.
it's actually a really good film. It's
What,
kind
you
of
mean
like
the Britney Spears movie?
No.
Yes.
No,
So
no. What have you
the cast-
done? What have you done? You ruined this film.
the cast is amazing because it's Sirius Black from Harry Potter, Cyclops from X-Men, Doc Brown, the Pink Power Ranger, and the guy Snake Plissken from Big Trouble in Little China.
Okay, hang on one second, guys. You've got to hear this. I'm on its Wikipedia page. It says box office. Following a limited release, Interstate 60 grossed $8,449 against a $7 million budget.
Whoa!
It didn't even get 10 grand on $7 million budget.
Whoa!
I have never heard. That has to be the worst performing film.
think-
of all time.
No.
I would argue Food Fight.
Wow.
$65 million budget. And it
I
was
think it was
shite.
85.
No,
No, Dave,
65.
it's 80. No, it's 85.
It was
So-
65. It was 65.
85.
Guys,
Yeah.
no matter what he made, my geek fact of the week is there's one movie that did so badly it only made $30.
And that is.
My movie doesn't count.
Zizix Road.
The what?
Zizix Road is a movie that was made for DVD only, but because of like the Screen Actors Guild, they needed to have a box office release, so they released it for one showing in one cinema for one day and told no one.
Oh wow! Yeah, I've just literally found about this as well. It grossed $30.
And they know what?
So they didn't tell anyone. 6
Yeah,
tickets.
And
Two of
do you know
which were
what?
cast members.
Yeah. No,
They had
and
to
this is
pay
the
to
best.
see their own movie.
No. So the two it wasn't the cast members. Yeah, it was the two. The two were costume directors who wanted to watch their movie on the big screen, and the production refunded them afterwards.
Wow.
Wait,
Is
wait.
it-
Wait.
So the movie
So
only
they,
made
so they gained $30 back, and then they gave the $30
Lost
back.
they gave the 20. They gave 10 back. So the movie only made 20.
Although question: is this a good film that tanked, or is it a bad film that tanked?
It didn't tank. It was done on purpose so they could release on DVD.
Okay. I mean, because like there are good films that tank when they come out, but then later everyone like Ferris Bueller tanked. I think did the Breakfast Club tank? I think it didn't, right?
Breakfast Club?
Yeah.
No,
No.
it became
I know.
Power Rangers.
I know that Ferris Bueller tanked, but then it became a cult classic afterwards.
Oh my god. Okay, so Dominion, the prequel to The Exorcist, says is arguably the worst. With a $30 million budget, it only grossed $251,495, under 1% of its budget.
Wow.
Yeah. Gosh.
Just wow.
Cutthroat Island apparently made 16% of their budget. Gosh. Okay, guys. Before we begin to wrap things up shortly, I've put it in the title, so I am going to mention it. The Nintendo Switch 2 is out tomorrow.
Dun dun dun.
I also, you know what I love about this? How
Tell me.
Sony has a last minute fuck Nintendo stream happening tonight.
Oh, really?
Do they?
They're having a state of play stream the day before the Switch releases.
Is that going to do anything? Because no one's going to the shop to buy the Switch 2. Everyone's going to have pre-ordered it. How's this
Sony
gonna-
are hoping it is. Sony are hoping it is.
Surely, look, if I go onto Amazon now, can I order a Nintendo Switch 2? So what? Oh, okay, I just had a weird message. I don't know what that is. Right, okay, so Nintendo Switch 2. Nintendo Switch 2. On Amazon, no, look, it says currently unavailable. So, you know, so look, yeah, so this is. I know that when the Dreamcast was coming out, they announced the PlayStation 2. So unless Sony tonight are announcing the PlayStation 6, are they announcing the PlayStation 6 tonight?
Maybe.
Oh my gosh!
I haven't even got a PS5, and they're announcing the 6th one.
Yeah. The PlayStation 5 literally hasn't had any exclusives because everything also came out on the PS4.
What is the device that most people game in?
PS2.
PS2.
Is it like all
Possibly.
Also can include
It's
computer?
selling. It's the most selling console of all time.
Yeah, no, but they're not still gaming on it now, right?
No, I'm still saying like comparatively, what is the platform that
In
most
general,
people game in?
yeah. PS2.
No. So look, PS2 sold the most of all time, but Nintendo Switch actually has caught up. So when they next announce how many Switches sold, it's likely to have crossed it because Sony suddenly tried to update and say that they'd sold more PS2s just so that Nintendo wouldn't beat them.
Didn't Avatar do that with Avengers?
Sorry?
Didn't Avatar do that with Avengers?
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Avengers became the most selling,
Yeah.
and then Avatar was released, and then
Yeah,
Avengers
they
was released.
released Avatar to stay ahead of it. Yeah, right. But yeah, I think probably most people, in terms of what people currently have,
I have the
Switch
results.
is sold the most, but like this, the PlayStation 5, like the Xbox isn't even part of the equation anymore.
Okay, so according to Yahoo's AI, PCs become the first.
Yahoo
gaming
still
platform.
exists?
Yeah, apparently.
Wow.
Chrome actually hooked me up with Yahoo for some reason. I don't know why. It's supposed to be Google. So according to this, PC is the most widely used gaming platform. Gaming consoles come in second, and third is mobile, and it's rising.
So say those ones again. I was not listening.
So
Right.
first is PC, and then gaming consoles, and then
Yeah.
third is mobile, which is rising.
Yeah.
What do you think I'm playing on right now?
The one thing
Dave's on his phone.
the one thing I'll praise about the Switch 2 is it's going to tank the second-hand game market for GameCube games.
How
The
so?
prices now for GameCube games are insane. They're in the hundreds.
For what?
Because
Yeah,
I mean-
true. GameCube.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've got a mint then. I've got a lot of GameCube games.
So Pokemon Colosseum, for example, is about 250, about 60. Anything Fire Emblem is like 250, but they're all coming to the Switch, so the value is going to go down.
For a while, I bet it'll bounce back because you can emulate basically anything, and yet still you find that there are like Super Nintendo or PS1 games that sell for a fortune.
I'm still holding on to the Panzer Dragoon for Sega Saturn.
Wait, do you have Panzer Dragoon Saga?
Yes, the 4 CD
Oh,
one.
amazing! Is it an English copy?
Yes.
Oh, I'm jealous. Dev, I have a mint still in the wrapper Japanese copy of that game,
Nice, nice.
but it's not worth anything compared to the English copy. The English copy,
Yeah.
you go on eBay, it's like £400 easily.
Wow.
Easily.
It's like StarCraft 64. The UK version, it's 250.
Wow. Okay, so is Panzer Dragoon Saga the rarest game you've got?
Yes.
I'm trying to. Okay, do you have on the Sega Saturn? Do you have Deep Fear?
No.
Ah,
I have that. I have Guardian Heroes,
yeah.
Panzer Dragoon Saga, and Knights with a big weird controller.
With hang
I
on a
wish-
second.
I wish I had my Salmon Max. How much does that worth?
With this big weird controller.
Yeah. The big,
Oh,
Yeah. Right.
look at that thing.
Yeah. Now, so what was I going to say? So the fun piece of trivia for you, especially Dave, Cap, because you'll be interested in this too. Definitely mention it before. The final Sega Saturn game released in the UK was a game called Deep Fear, which was one of the very first Resident Evil style games out there. It's not as good as Resident Evil. The voice acting is much worse than Resident Evil, to the point that it's hilarious. But the game is actually pretty good, and I have 2 copies. So
Can I go on that point? Just as a little hot take.
Yeah.
So currently for my channel, I am recording Resident Evil 0, and I am actually hating it a little bit because
That's what you deserve. That's what you deserve.
My thing is like gameplay is okay, like because it's kind of like how it was with the first game, so I am enjoying it on that regard, like getting the camera angles right, you know, all that sort of thing. But the thing I'm annoyed about it is the storage system is that you drop it on the floor, and then there's no like storage crate, so that you can pick it up wherever you need to. You just drop it on the floor, and then you have to walk all the way back just to go and get it.
It's just like in real life.
No, but it's bloody, like I will say, like, because I'm used to the mechanic, you know, I'm more used to that mechanic of having the storage crate and then being able to go back to it when you know, going to the storage crate, grabbing what I need, and then going on my merry way. But the thing is, I just got to the chapel, right, and so I got the grapple gun on the train.
Yeah.
And I needed the grapple gun again in the church after killing a zombat. But I didn't know I needed the grapple gun until I got this. Oh, it looks like you need something to get up there. Wait, so you're telling me the grapple gun that I left right at the beginning where the train crashed, I have to go all the way back through the mansion, back into the sewers, just to get a grapple gun with danger health?
Yeah.
And but you know, I am enjoying that. I will say, like, I'm enjoying the mechanic of having 2 characters, and if one dies, that's it. And the story's still the same as well. But it's enjoyable. But I'm really starting to hate the game.
That's what you get.
The thing with that, so guys, if you didn't know this piece of trivia, Resident Evil 0 was originally meant to be a Nintendo 64 game. I'll bring it up here so you can have a look at it. This shouldn't affect, so I don't even need the shield for this. But this was originally Resident Evil 64. And
Rebecca.
And the thing with it is the N64 was on cartridges, so it meant that they'd got the idea, well, you could just drop items because it can load instantly on a cartridge, and so you don't need to use the magic crates. And so they came up with this mechanic.
I'm so thankful that I got into Resident Evil when Resident Evil 6 came out.
No, this was amazing. They didn't release this. It's not known how much of this was ever made. So this footage is all, and it looks. This to me looks gorgeous footage. I would love to play this.
I would agree with you on that one, David. That looks beautiful. I mean, I know the remastered one is okay, but it's got that sort of plasticky CG look to it, you know?
Yeah.
But
So,
you know, like, how hard is our warped perception, really? Like, for me, this looks like shit. But you guys, this is heaven.
Oh my god! When I first saw like Resident Evil on the PlayStation 1, and I saw graphics that were slightly worse than this, I was like, "How is it so real?"
Oh, it's Billy! For some reason, I've seen to pick up his name, and every time I see him, I go, "Oh, we got to get Billy."
Yeah.
I would say the only game I would say somewhat relative to this would be Devil May Cry 3,
Fuck
which again,
off.
but the problem is,
I have to hold on. I need to know this. Cap, are you allergic to playing games in order?
Yeah.
He is.
yeah, Dev. Look what happened to Dave when he started playing games in order. He went back to Resident Evil 0, okay? And because it's a prequel, it's allowed. Devil May Cry 3 is the prequel to all the Devil May Cry games.
Yeah,
So
because
it's
I've
allowed.
played Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 2, so it's okay for me to go back. Starting with a prequel is a no-no.
What do you know, Dave? Technically, I think you shouldn't play Resident Evil 0 until after you've played 3 and Code Veronica.
Well, you know. Potato, tomato.
Because there are some spoilers.
I
Yeah.
don't give a damn.
Yeah,
I'm not saying spoilers right now because I want people to watch my stupid reactions, watch me get angry at this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Dev, if I had, I think Devil May Cry 1 would have been fine. Still, the animation would have irked me so much, I would have never actually got into the hype train at all. If it's only because of Devil May Cry 3, I really started enjoying Devil May Cry as Devil May
So
Cry.
you're telling me the game that has a sword sticking out of Dante made more sense to you than 1?
Again, you gotta remember, my first game is GTA San Andreas and GTA Vice City. So I have some expectation when it comes to 3D characters. I need them to move. I need the mouse to see third-person view.
Yeah, but that's like saying I played bloody Bomberman for the 360. I don't want to play Bomberman for the Super Nintendo.
Why would you go back?
Because it's a better game.
I will show you what was the first game that I probably ever played. Okay, because to me, this definitely wasn't, but it's the first one that I'll have the actual memory of. It's just loading. You'll see the graphics, and this, like, I know some people who have played things much older. Oh god, damn adverts on everything.
Don't you
Yes,
just love
skip
them?
the advert. Skip the advert. Oh my god, a second advert. I'm just going to shoot myself. Well, anyway, it's for the Amiga 500. It's called
Okay.
Buggy Boy, and it is a racing game. And check this out.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
You know the weirdest thing. You know the weirdest thing, David. In the early 2000s, I played something similar to this on a phone.
I bet actually, yeah. I was like, it's 3D. How are they making graphics this good?
What was it? Is that 16 or 32-bit?
So a 16-bit, the like I can't remember, like the Amiga 500 technically I think is 16-bit. I think.
Yeah.
It's in that range because it was a home computer. It wasn't even a console.
Oh yeah.
So who knows?
But
Meanwhile, I got spoiled because my favorite game was the one I put in chat just now. Usually our chat.
Put it into chat.
Doorway
This
to
makes it sound
darkness.
naughty, Dev. What have we got here? Right, okay. Okay, so copy. This better not be on Reddit. I can't open Reddit ever. For some reason, I don't know what's up with my computer. Doesn't let me
NBA Jam. Wait, you played Space Jam?
open- Is it? NBA. Oh my god, what a great game.
My first game ever.
Yeah. Boom shakalaka. I love that game.
So, you know what you can do? You can pay the announcer to make messages for you.
All right, yeah.
So, my answering machine is by him.
What does he get you? What did you get him to say?
Anything you want. It's like, welcome to Dev's phone. Leave a message after the beep. And like in his voice.
Yeah. No, that's nice. It's cool. It's cool. Right, yeah. So anyway, so the Nintendo Switch 2 is coming out. So
Yay.
there'll be new Mario Kart, and that's about it. Like everything else for it, I think, is kind of stuff that's already been out until in about a month's time. There's a new Donkey Kong game, but yeah. But apparently you can use the controller like a mouse, so that's exciting. Dev.
The game also has, and I can laugh about this because I'm disabled, but it has a wheelchair basketball game,
Yes, I forgot that.
controllable with the Wiimote thing.
And clearly, that is just based on the fact that that motion is like a wheelchair motion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a neat idea.
Yeah.
Go on, Cap.
No, my question is because you guys like this, like the pixelated games, and then when you say there's a new release of the pixelated games, you guys go back and play them.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I never do this. So if I mean, like, unless they do a remake or a remaster, like I really don't want to go back to GTA Vice City again. That's like,
Why
for
not?
me, like my sweet spot is right now is anything that came out between 2010 to 2015.
Okay. So, Cap, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna tie you up
Yeah.
and make you play GTA London.
The what?
Oh, yes. Make him play it. Make him play it. Make him play it.
Yeah,
I don't
GTA
even know what
London.
Well, I don't even know what that is.
It was back in the day. Instead of DLC, we had expansion packs, and GTA London is an expansion pack for either GTA 1 or 2. I can't remember. But they were
Oh my
released
God.
separately. It was set in London, and you're so used to San Andreas, so it's gonna blow
Oh,
your
actually,
mind.
yeah, I'll bring this up.
It again, like, even though
It's top down, it's pixels. You'll hate it. It's great.
that's just saying, like, I don't even want to go back to Vice City or San Andreas. What makes you think I want to go back to Pixels?
Cap, or you
Because
just saying that, you're just giving me ideas for my channel just to annoy you.
No, Dave.
Yeah,
I
GTA
will
London,
play those games on a stream out of spite, just because.
GTA
I'm
1989,
This is all I play on my on my
GTA's,
channel.
GTA's Chinatown Wars.
Okay,
it's
let's
like
bring
the,
this up.
it's
So,
like the same.
GTA London.
It's like the same ick I have with black and white films. I just don't want to watch them.
There you go.
Hey, look at that, it's gorgeous.
Oh
Look at
my
it, look
God.
at it. Oh, I remember that one. I played that one. That's so much fun.
I could never
Yeah.
get into the old or new GTA games.
I
I'll
like
tell you what I
the.
do like, right, and that is Street Fighter. Oh, you can't see it because there's the green
mean,
screen.
This is kind
I
of a
would-
Street Fighter.
I would
It's kind of
probably-
Street Fighter.
This is kind of Street Fighter.
What you're playing?
Yeah.
How is that like Street Fighter?
If I
You
go up
go
to
up
someone
in
in
the
the street
street
and
and
punch him in the
punch.
face, it's Street Fighter.
So,
Oh, hang on 1 second. You've invoked it. I'm gonna have to make a new video for this. Where is it? And boom. Right. So,
speaking of.
Yeah,
Go on, Cap.
No,
Go,
no,
go.
the thing, no, with fighting games, I think I'll be able to stomach it. But for some reason, I'm able to stomach a lot of things in fighting games. And also, it shouldn't be pixels. At least it should be a 2D drawing. At least it shouldn't be pixel. It should be proper rendered 2D.
wait, it shouldn't be pixels. Like,
I think he means like
This
karate.
is pixels, you
That's
idiot.
No,
pixels.
no, I get
No,
what he means. I get what he means because
Thank
those
you.
pixels like karate for the karate master for the NES, as opposed to Street Fighter 2 for the arcade.
It's the animation. It has to be smooth. It has to be real.
Right now, I'm going to show you the best fighting game of all time. And
Oh
that
god,
is
is it?
Human
Oh
Killing
no.
Machine on anything. You fight a dog.
Nah, the best game that's pixeled ever with fighting in it is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Dr. Jack. Look at this. Look at this. There you go. So there's different versions of it.
God.
Look at him go!
And do you want to know the thing is, when I made this video, the reason I showed this one mostly is because the one that actually has the better graphics that look like this, when you play it, you literally cannot beat it. You literally cannot.
Because you can't see anything.
No. I mean, they have characters on it that are undefeatable, so the game just never ends. Go on, Dev.
So I know the company that made Human Killing Machine, and the reason it was made is because Amiga wanted their own sequel to Street Fighter
Oh, yeah, it's true.
that other
Yeah,
consoles didn't have.
Yeah. So
Where's
yeah,
the-
so look, I can bring this up on the screen because I speak out on. This is my video, so you guys should check it out, right? But so this is Street Fighter 1, and the company that US Gold they're called that put it onto like the Amiga and the Commodore 64. They were like, "Hey, this was great putting this game onto these platforms. We want to make another one." And Capcom were like, no, we'll make our own sequels." So then they made Human Killing Machine, which ripped off the first Street Fighter and plays very similar, except for it was just terrible.
Here we go. Here we go. Street Fighter.
Yeah.
You know, the fun fact is, the company that actually made it isn't US Gold. They're just the publishers. The company that made it was Tiertex,
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah,
who are
yeah.
based in Macclesfield.
Defeated.
Wow.
Also,
Different
speaking of
microphone.
games, did you guys check out the new Witcher 4 trailer? The gameplay one, at least game.
I think I should finish playing The Witcher 1, then 2, and then Wild Hunt.
Oh my gosh! Just go to Witcher 3. Just go to Witcher 3.
I will only do that if you give me that 3,000-word essay on why I should play Resident Evil 4 instead of 3.
Fine, dude, fine. Grind through Witcher 1.
I'm still waiting on that essay, Cap.
Hang on.
It's been 3 months. I'm still waiting for it.
Although, there's actually people who are actually modders who made, I think they put it, The Witcher 1 as an expansion, Witcher 3, with the animations of Witcher 3, which was all done by modders, actually. But I think CDPR will remake Witcher 1 and 2, which I won't be able to play because they're probably like, I won't be even able to play Witcher 4. The graphics looks, my laptop's already tired.
Wow. Cap, at some point the nostalgia will hit you and you'll play all these old things.
It's either two ways, either two things. Either I can't run anything new, so I am stuck with playing them,
Oh, damn. Where are you?
or it's just like the new games are just shit. So like I'm going back to the good old days.
See, I played Resident Evil 6, and then that's when I went back to the first one.
Yeah, but you came back with a remake.
Well, no, the remakes were already old by the time Resident Evil 6 came out. So, well, the first one was. Resident Evil 1 remake came out in 2002. Resident Evil 6 Abomination came out 10 years later. Right,
You are wrong, and you know it.
I wasn't wrong. I was wrong about Resident Evil 2 remake. That's because I don't even consider
No, I'm saying you're wrong about saying Resident Evil 6 is an abomination.
I will play it all the way through eventually. Dev, tell us things, and then we're going to have to wrap things up here, Dev.
Speaking of Street Fighter, I completed the new Capcom compilation they had that came out recently. They had Capcom vs. SNK 1, Capcom vs. SNK 2, Street Fighter Alpha 3,
Yeah.
Power Stone 1, Power Stone 2, the sword game with the... I can't remember what it's called. It was like released on Dreamcast, basically. And
I want them to bring back a Darkstalker stuff. Do something about it.
Okay, so they tried, but they re-released the original, and if that sold well, they would have made more, but nobody bought the re-release, so they canceled the entire series.
I really like it. I've seen the cartoons. I never played the game. I've seen the cartoon. It's really good. I want Darkstalkers.
No, then you'll never ever get Darkstalkers again because they tried, and then they sold like 50 copies, and they stopped.
You never know. You never know. Like, look at Shenmue. That like they've finally made Shenmue 3. No one bought it, and then a few months ago they were like, Shenmue is the most influential game of all time, and apparently we may get Shenmue 4 now.
So the reason, so I know. Okay, the reason I know a lot about this because I was both the Kickstarter for Shenmue and I did PR for Yakuza. So Shenmue is influential by leading to Yakuza. So the Yakuza series is going to go far, but Shenmue itself is dead because after the Kickstarter, they did nothing with the franchise, and nobody wanted it because the Kickstarter was way below expectations. So they released it. The game
it was like they got like 6 or 7. They got like more money on the Shenmue Kickstarter than any other Kickstarter in history by that point.
Yeah, because of the hype, but the game itself when it came out was shit.
It was, yeah. And all they needed to do was end the story, and they still didn't. Like,
no,
Ryu
Let's
has
start
been,
another
Ryu
Kickstarter.
has been trying to avenge his father since like the mid 1980s, and he still hasn't
Yeah,
done it.
and they got pissed off at him for doing that because, like, oh, he just wants money for another Kickstarter.
Yeah,
And, like, Yakuza is literally, they took the torch and ran with it, and it's a crazy successful franchise now.
yeah. I
because of
never
it.
got into a Yakuza.
You
Shenmue though, like the first
Shamu.
Shenmue.
Every-
It's so good. You can go into it like it was the first. It like the reason it was influential is because it basically created open world games,
And
but they
quick-time
weren't
events.
called it at the time. Annoyingly, it influenced like on Resident Evil like 4 especially when you suddenly just have to press buttons in a certain order.
Yeah, quick-time
Quick time
events.
events. Shenmue invented those as well.
Wait,
And
it really invented the open world? I thought GTA did open world.
no, Shenmue did it like in
Shenmue before
1990.
GTA.
1999. It would have actually been on the Sega Saturn to be played with this controller, but because the Saturn flopped, they Shenmue it cost $80 million to make the very first one, and that was because they made the whole game for the Sega Saturn. And when you see the footage, okay, let's just show it. So the most influential game, Shenmue, Sega Saturn. When you see what Shenmue on the Sega Saturn looked like,
Ouch.
it was so bad, but they basically made Shenmue 1 and 2 on the Sega Saturn, because when you see the environments from it, some of them aren't in the game until the sequel. And so when the original came out, when the Dreamcast was about to die, literally this game needed to save it. You could beat the whole game in about 3 days. So this is Shenmue for the Sega Saturn. There you go, look at that.
Oh god.
But that, you didn't get characters where their eyes moved on the Sega Saturn. This was incredible graphics.
To be frank, GTA characters' eyes didn't move either. Their mouth just did this.
So, to like, okay, as a literal salesman for the Yakuza franchise, Yakuza is literally everything you like about Shenmue, but better.
No, I don't know. Can you go over to a little kitten and pet it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You even
fine.
have a
Fine,
you
you
even have a
can't
pet dog.
I
Okay.
think the only pixel game I actually played is Tarzan. For some reason
not
Disney
pixel.
stuff. Yeah,
That's not
it was
pixel game.
pixel. It's pixel, right?
David, could you bring up Kung Fu for the NES?
Kung Fu, yeah, okay.
Kung
Right,
Fu.
but then we are going to have to wrap things up. Kung Fu NES. So this is Pixels, Cap. You want to see Pixels? This.
Oh, look at this. Look at the gorgeousness of these pixels. Look at this.
Where is any of the characters? Here we go.
Yeah, but
There
like
you
there's just a medium one.
Literally 2 frames of animation. And he killed a kid.
Doing, 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 doing.
Why is he killing the kids?
He's mad.
Kung
It's
Fu.
equal opportunity.
Roadhouse.
Go, just get a video of the Disney Tarzan game, Dave.
Hang on one second. If you want to see like truly amazing graphics, though, you've got to see Atari E.T. the Extraterrestrial. This is it.
Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible.
This game was made in about 8 weeks, and then
That-
made
that-
it so that video games almost weren't made anymore.
That game killed killed gaming.
Yeah.
It did.
Right. Okay. I'll find Tarzan, but I swear we need to Tarzan.
Like Cap,
Yes,
you know,
one.
you say about that you don't like games like the old pixels and that. Yeah, E.T. is one of those games that I was just like some of those old Atari games. I'm just like, why did
Oh,
you
I
do this? Why is this a thing?
You know what we need to do? We need to go to Extreme Improv and continue this discussion.
No, I can't do that.
We just moved over to
Right,
extreme
there you go.
improv.
See that pixels?
No, this is 3D.
That's 3D.
That's 3D.
So it's
you
polygons.
idiot.
It's
Yeah.
pixelated. But that's only because it's low resolution.
That's 3D.
Yeah, this is the only thing I was able to stomach. I would have gotten Tarzan, Simba's Lion King as well, I didn't. But I will play that. For Disney stuff, I can go a little bit older. I don't care.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, on that note, very quickly, let's find out where we can find everyone. Starting with Cap.
You can find me on Sword Beats where I sing, I dance, I throw myself in a bucket, and I dance with puppets. And there will be a Father's Day Lion King sketch coming up soon. The last year one really did really well, so I'm hoping this will do well as well. And you can also find me on Extreme Improv on Beaver shows.
Okay. Right. Fantastic. Where can we find you, Dev?
You can find me on TikTok and Twitch, and I'll name FPDAT. And in about 10 minutes, I'll be on Extreme Improv talking about Doctor Who.
Okay. Dave.
You can find me here on Extreme on various shows, and you can check out my own YouTube channel, Dave MC Gaming, and you can see more adventures like what you're seeing right now, me just running around being an idiot. Currently on my channel, we have Terminator Resistance on my channel at the moment. It's a good laugh, it's good fun, and obviously Cap is trying to get me to do the Arnold Schwarzenegger impression for more than 5 minutes. So come along and check out these fun adventures. And I stream on Saturday, Sundays, Mondays and Tuesdays. We have The Forest starting on Saturday night as well. So please come along and check that out as well.
Okay.
Yeah, but Dave, isn't that a great idea? A Terminator game played by a Terminator impersonator.
I've already told you I'm doing that for August 29th.
I am waiting for it.
Okay, my name is David Pstansky. You find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at David Pstansky, spelled Pustandsky. You can get any of my books. And guys, if you want my recommendation, just play Tarzan on the PS1. It looks amazing. Right, so with that, until next time, stay safe, always stay extreme, live long and prosper. May the force be with you. Nanu, nanu, and boom, we are off the air.
Oh, stop writing now.